Book 2, Chapter 8, Reaping of Hard Times, is called Explosion. The day after his conversations with Louisa and Tom, James Harthouse is pleased with himself for cultivating Louisa's confidence and burgeoning affections. Late in the day, he encounters an agitated, red-faced Mr. Bounderby on the road, who tells him the bank has been robbed. Bitzer has brought both the news and Mrs. Sparsit to the estate. Roughly 150 pounds are missing, but Mr. Bounderby is furious about the principle of the robbery, done with a false key while Bitzer slept, much more than he is over the sum lost. Tom remains in Coketown to help the police with their inquiries. Mr. Bounderby declares his suspicion of Stephen Blackpool, along with 2 accomplices, one of whom is an old woman. He recounts his belief that Stephen is nothing but trouble, and Mrs. Sparsit testifies she's seen Stephen loitering outside the bank after closing for many evenings. Mrs. Sparsit settles in at the country house, not ready to return to the bank because of her nerves. She's overly polite to the point of annoyance, and still expresses pity at Mr. Bounderby's marriage. When Tom returns to the house that night, Louisa asks him several times in private if he has anything to tell her. Tom says he doesn't understand what she's talking about, and he has nothing to tell her. He thinks Stephen's involvement in the robbery is possible, however honest Stephen might appear. After Louisa leaves, Tom breaks into a crying fit on his bed. The hints dropped in the previous 2 chapters come together with the news of the robbery. The reader knows about the conversation between Tom and Stephen Blackpool, in which Tom invited Stephen to loiter outside the bank after hours. Being recently fired, Stephen has motive to commit a crime against Bounderby's bank, and Tom carefully places him at the scene of the crime for days before it takes place. But the amount stolen covers the gambling debts Tom confesses to James Harthouse. Tom's crying fit reveals for the first time feelings of guilt for abusing his sister's trust.